Is uranium running out? A quiet crisis years in the making. The silent fuel. There is a fuel that almost no one talks about. You never see it at gas stations, it doesn't flow through pipelines, it doesn't make headlines like oil or lithium. And yet, without it, 1 out of every 10 kilowatt hours simply disappears from the grid. That fuel is uranium. And lately, investors, utilities, and governments have all been asking the same uneasy question. Is uranium running out? Not in some distant future, but right now. Chapter 1: The Illusion of Abundance. For decades, the world believed uranium was plentiful, and technically it is. There is still plenty of uranium in the ground, enough on paper for many decades. But energy markets don't run on paper. They run on timing, price, and trust. Here's the first crack in the history. Uranium only exists as supply if someone is willing to mine it at today's prices. And for most of the last 15 years, they weren't. Chapter 2: After the shock. After Fukushima in 2011, nuclear demand stalled overnight. Prices collapsed. Utilities stopped signing contracts. Mines shut down quietly one by one. Even giants like Cameco and Kazatomprom cut productions. Not because uranium was gone, but because selling it made no economic sense. For years, the world lived off stockpiles, secondary supplies left over from a different era. It felt comfortable, it felt stable, but it wasn't sustainable. Chapter 3: A market that slept too long. Uranium is different from oil and gas. Utilities don't buy it day to day. They buy it years in advance through long-term contracts. And for over a decade, they did not. Why lock in supply when prices are falling? But while contracts were paused, something else kept moving forward. Reactors kept running, new reactors kept being planned, and mines stayed closed. A structural gap was forming, quietly. Chapter 4: The Market's Stress Test. Then came Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, better known as SPUT. SPUT didn't invent a shortage, it didn't change nuclear demand, they did something much simpler and much more revealing. They bought physical uranium and held it. And suddenly, the market noticed how thin supply really was. SPUT has constantly pointed out core reality: the uranium market has no meaningful buffer. When uranium is removed from circulation, prices respond not because of speculation, but because there is nowhere else to go. In this market case, SPUT became the messenger. The message itself was already there. Chapter 5: The Correlation Nobody Can Ignore. Now look at the patterns. When reactor construction accelerates, especially in China, uranium contracting follows. When utilities return to long-term contracts, prices don't spike briefly, they reset higher. And when prices stay below the cost needed to restart the mines, supply doesn't respond. This is the most important correlation of all: uranium price and the future production. Below a certain price, the future simply doesn't get built. So today's prices still struggle to guarantee enough new supply for tomorrow's reactors. Chapter 6: So, is uranium running out? Here is the honest answer. Uranium is not running out of the earth, but it is running out of time. It's time to restart the mines, permit new projects, rebuild the supply chain that was neglected for over a decade. Energy transitions don't fail because resources vanish. They fail because investment arrives too late. The real scarcity isn't uranium itself. It's cheap uranium, flexible uranium, and uranium that can show up exactly when the grid needs it. And once the realization sets in, markets don't move gradually, they move all at once. So the real takeaway is this: uranium isn't disappearing, but cheap available uranium already has. And until prices rise enough to justify new mines, the tension in this market remains. If you enjoyed this deep dive into nuclear fuel economics, like, subscribe, and join Energy Brainer for more stories where energy, markets, and reality collide.